Hi everyone, I want to highlight another S tier dungeon for you to hopefully grind and gain that XP that we're all looking for. I do want to say one thing before we highlight the next dungeon, and that is Blizzard is constantly making changes to the game. So this is what I feel to be an S tier dungeon at the time of the recording of this video. So please keep in mind, patches keep coming and they keep nerfing the density of mobs in dungeons. So please keep that in mind. Things may change. However, at the time of this video recording, this is what I believe is another S tier dungeon. I also want to mention there are many factors that influence how much XP you get when you're grinding Diablo 4. That is your player level compared to the enemies that you're playing and killing their level. Whether or not you're using XP bonuses like elixirs, whether or not you're playing solo or in a group, whether the group you're in players are near you. All these things have an influence positively and negatively on whether or not you gain XP. So please keep that in mind. These dungeons that I'm highlighting are what I classify as to be S tier. I believe they're worth your while and time to at least do once. So having said that, let's get to the next S tier dungeon on the list. See you on the other side. The next S tier dungeon is Onyx Hold, and it is in Dry Steeps. It is to the left of the Onyx Watchtower. As you can see, here is the tower, and you can see the dungeon literally right to the left of it is literally right beside it. So Onyx Hold is my next S tier dungeon to grind. Now, as you can see, when you portal in, it's literally right to the left of you. And once again, there it is, the Onyx Watchtower and the Onyx Hold dungeon. And I'm going to show you my XP level when I started the dungeon, and I'll show you my XP level when I finished the dungeon. So as you can see, I got 2,940,784,000 XP. And do not forget, I did this on purpose, pop your elixir. Okay. All right, let's get to the end of it. All right. So upon completing this dungeon, I ended up with 3,867,757. So just under 3.9 million. That is just shy of 1,000,000 XP. That's one dungeon. Now, keep in mind, I'm level 68 and the mobs in here are 73 at plus. I'm in tier 4, which grants 200% extra XP. If you're in tier 3, it's 100%. So it'll be half of that. But the mob density in here is pretty good. Here's an overview of what the dungeon actually looks like. As you can see, you enter through the bottom here, and there's a room over here, and then you make your way up, and there's several rooms up at the top, and eventually that's where the dungeon ends. So it's a pretty straightforward dungeon. The mob density is not that bad, but as you can see, I almost got, I got about 926,000 XP from running this dungeon. So that is, in my mind, a lot of XP for going through one dungeon. I want to touch on a little bit around the boosts and the world tiers and the influence it has on your XP gains. So I want to thank Reddit. I found this on Reddit. So thank you, Reddit. Always a useful resource for information. And I thought it was a very good one-page explanation of how you can enhance your XP gains. So as you can see, elixirs give you a 5% XP boost for 30 minutes. So I would highly recommend always having an elixir active while you're grinding these dungeons. If there's a player, at least one player that's nearby you, you get 5%. If they're in your party, it's 10%. So again, the odds of a player being near you that's not in your group while you're running a dungeon are not existent. So what this is basically saying is if you have someone in your party, it's a 10%, okay? And the XP gain is equal for all players regardless of damage. So you can AFK if you have those kind of friends. World tiers. If you're in World Tier 1, it's normal XP. If you're in World Tier 2, it's 20%. World Tier 3, it's 100% extra XP. And if you're in World Tier 4, it's 200 XP, okay? And this is what I mentioned earlier, how there are many influences. The other influence is also the enemy scaling. So that is your level compared to the enemy's level that you're engaged with and killing. So if they're +1, it's an additional 15%. If they're +2 levels higher than you, it's 20% XP. If they're 3 levels or more than you, it's 25% XP. This is why in all my videos, I go out of my way to highlight what level I am and the fact that I'm doing dungeons that are 73 plus, okay? And then there's also a negative effect. You could also be going into areas where you're literally wasting your time because you're fighting enemies that are below your level, which really you're not gaining as much as potentially you could. So for example, if you're killing enemies that are 1 level below you, it's -10 XP that you would normally get. And if they're 2 levels below you, it's -20. If they're 3 levels, it's -30 XP. Okay. So these are all the factors that I mentioned earlier. You also need to keep in mind, you know, oh, Sam, I'm noticing his bar and he levels up quicker. His bar is going quicker. Well, again, as you get higher levels, the XP requirement is greater. So as you can see, here's level 0 to level 100, and here is the XP that you need to get to the next level. And as you can see, as you get to the higher levels, the amount of XP that you need to get to the next level is much greater. And this is why they say level 90 to 100 is a grind, okay? So I also want you to keep that in mind. Now, I just purely wanted to highlight that just to hopefully that it resonates with you so you understand why maybe you're getting greater XP than me, maybe you're getting less XP than me. There are too many factors that influence how much XP you get, and I just wanted to briefly explain that. There you have it. Onyx Hold is on my S tier list of dungeons to grind to get your XP. I hope you enjoyed the video, and for those of you that want to see me live playing Diablo 4, you can watch me every evening on Twitch. My channel name is Sammy Caps. I typically start my stream between the hours of 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would love for you to come by and say hello. And for those of you that are continuing to support my YouTube content and channel, thank you so much. We've only started this channel a couple of weeks ago, and I want to thank everyone that have been watching my videos, commenting on my videos, and supporting my content. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. I am trying to grow this channel, so thank you for your support. It means the world to me. All right. We'll see you next time.